Yeah, I was worried that I wasn't even going to make it to Q2 in the race at Silverstone.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get a lap in until my last one.
No, indeed. Sorry, I'm just checking whether our stream is on. There we go. Great. Willkommen, bienvenue, and welcome to Celeritas. My name's Webbo. I'm back on commentary tonight, and with us is we very privileged to welcome a knight of Her Majesty's realm. Sir Gwyneth joins us as co-commentary. Gwyneth, say hello to everybody and let us know that you can that you can be heard.
I can be heard. I am talking right now. How's everyone getting on? And most importantly, how are you doing, Web?
Yeah, not bad, thank you. Not bad. It's been a little bit of a rush to get everything ready, but yeah, looking forward to a good race. I managed to watch last night's race in preparation, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Got a bit of an idea about what to expect, but really looking forward to it. And great to have one of our full-time Division 1 drivers with us.
Yeah, it's good to be here. I do have a little experience commentating in other leagues, but it's good to hop in the booth here with you.
Fabulous, fabulous. So already we've got a few people on the YouTube chat. So welcome to everybody joining us. Sam asks for our predictions today. So while you think about that, I'll put mine out there. I think obviously Lightning had some a little advantage about with being able to race last night. I think obviously Price's pace is pretty strong, so I'm gonna probably look for good results from those guys. What about you?
I'm gonna go for the same with the Pricey call, just because I've raced with him a lot, and I've raced with him against him a couple times at Belgium, and I know his pace is very good at Belgium.
Okay, I don't know that much, so yeah, that's good. It's good to know.
Yeah, in other races that I've had, Pricey has always been one of the top qualifiers in every league that I've been in with him, so it wouldn't surprise me to at least see him in the top three, maybe even in a pole position.
Yeah, I know that he and Shender have been pushing each other really, really hard in the previous races, and we've lost Shender today, so he does have a stand-in teammate who raced yesterday as well, Roy. So interesting for him. I don't know if he'll take his foot off the gas a little, or he'll be full throttle.
Yeah, I think Pricey thrives off that competition, especially when his teammate is someone like Shender. Like, those two are, I'd say, in the top three drivers in the league. So I'd say that he definitely thrives off that competition, and having a teammate that's on his pace is really going to drive him forward. But obviously we're not seeing Shender, so maybe he has something off his shoulders, maybe a little pressure off his shoulders.
We did see some terrific pace from Thod last week as well in Russia, so be another one to look out for, I think. But I think there's always going to be surprises as we tackle different tracks. This obviously in character, this track is completely different to the last race, so quite an adjustment for the drivers.
Yeah, definitely. Like with Russia, it's very much 90-degree turns. Like, it's built around the Olympic Park, so they won't have much. They didn't have much room to play around with building that, but with Spa, it's been such a historic circuit. We've seen how much it's evolved over the years. and over the different eras of Formula
1. So just currently riding with Pricey, perhaps you could talk us through how he's doing on the corners. You've just gone out through Eau Rouge. Quinn, what's your feeling at the moment?
I think obviously he's doing at the moment he's doing such a good job. He's got a good apex there, carrying quite a lot of speed through. Cuts the corner well there, and overall the first couple corners he's keeping the momentum going, and he's getting good lines through. He goes round No Name now. It's quite good. I find it funny how that's the only corner that's not got a name, so people have just generally called it No Name Corner. So let's see how he gets round. He could get a little bit closer to the gap there, but he did keep the momentum going.
Looks safe to me, this lap. Looks like a safe banker.
Yeah, I think generally from any banker, from any driver, it will usually be a safe lap. And then once it gets towards the end of the session, then they'll just start going all out.
Yeah. He's also on the medium tyres, so he's obviously feeling pretty confident. Certainly about this first banker lap.
He gets good rotation going through the last two corners, and it's a 1:42.3 on mediums.
He's the purple time, not the first across the track, but he's certainly a purple time.
Yeah. I mean, Lankavas gets a 1:42.3. See,
pretty
he's
sweet
on top.
Yeah, pretty sweet time from him there.
Yeah, definitely. So, who's the next to cross the line? I think it may be Roy.
No excuses for Roy or for Lightning today. They should have their setup, and they should know what to expect. But of course, it's a step up in pace for this division.
Yeah, definitely. Roy puts in a 1:42.7, which on softs he is just under 4 tenths slower than his teammate Pricey, and he's done that lap on the medium, so that definitely shows the pace that he has on. If he can get on to the soft, well, he will definitely get on.
Absolutely. Okay. Just following along with Thod at the moment. I think he's on his outlap. Just getting ready to tackle racing speed. I saw this last week from Thod. A nice... Oh no, there he goes into the pits. He must have had an issue. Last week I know he offset his times, and I think he did a double stint just to make sure he got clear from any traffic.
Yeah.
Just riding with Beetle at the moment.
Yeah, Beetle's in the pits, and he's just decided he wants to go into the wall.
I've got to drive in. Rafa has invalidated his first lap, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Cohen's on one, so follow Cohen in the Williams right now. I also haven't seen Shawspin. No, Shaws was missing last week, and he's certainly got very hot pace.
Yeah, I'll go on board with Shaws and see what his time is, and then quickly switch over to Cohen as he takes last two corners very well, and he goes pole. 1:42.247.
It's close though. That's close.
Yeah, definitely close. So I think, and then Rafa's in the pits.
Just watching on screen with Cohen as he gets P6. That's his first banker lap. P6. Let's check in with one of our server owners, Storm. Storm commentated last night, so he'll have a good eye on strategy calls. I know the customary strategy is soft medium or medium soft, but we did see Bacon last night do it very well using the hards on the second stint. Storm goes P4, 1:42.6.
Yeah, it's a very solid lap for Storm, especially being your banker. And to be P4 only behind Pricey, Lankavas and Shawspec. he's definitely looking good. Although we do have how many drivers not? Only 7 drivers haven't put in a lap yet, so there's definitely room for other drivers to move ahead of him, but at the moment he's sitting pretty on the second row.
Pricey asking if he should get P1. I don't know, mate. I mean, it's up to you, really, isn't it?
I mean, if you wanna challenge yourself, stick where you are. If you wanna
just riding with FedEx Runner at the moment, he's got a good. He certainly had a purple sector around the back of the circuit. I did check in with Snarf, who invalidated. He's a debut driver making his debut with us in the Mercedes today. And FedEx Runner P3, 42.3. Another one of those drivers on a 42.3. So those times are very tight at the top. Yeah.
Yeah, he's only beating out Pricey by half a tenth, and then he's only behind Lankavas by 300ths pretty much. So it's getting very, very close between the top 4.
Okay, so we're just on board with Thod.
He hasn't validated his lap.
It's a shame. It did just. I think he took the exit curb too heavy at the time, but it really is that time to get your first lap in. It's a long, long lap.
Yeah. I'm just on board with Waitsy now as he gets to the end of the main straight. Goes well. Let's see how he fares with this off-camera corner. Gets it very neat and tidy on the power, very nice. Onto No Name, slides a little bit on the entry and on the apex, but he keeps it steady. See how he gets on. Usually this corner you want a little bit of a lift, but then it's usually flat out for the rest. Very nice and close to the curb, and again we do have yellow flags with Alright, I think that may he just had a rear end step, but he did get purple in that sector too. Let's see how he gets on with this part. Sector 3 is just pretty much all flat out apart from the final chicane.
It's a long wait for that braking marker, isn't it?
Yeah.
It takes a lot of early curb.
Goes in.
Not happy with that. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Does he perhaps feel like he's got enough to start on the medium and thinks, with that purple sector, maybe it's worth going out on the medium?
Yeah, maybe. I know Waitsy is a particularly fast driver. He can qualify.
Just rejoined with Waitsy here, so he's put on softs to see what he's got. So this could be a competitive lap. Let's ride on board with Waitsy and check out every inch of his approach here. Just waiting for that braking marker. He's under the time. 2/10 is significant at this point on the lap, I think. Just needs to keep these softs alive for the whole lap and not take too much out of them.
Yeah, definitely. Gets in nice and tidy, as I always say. Now on to No Name. There's definitely a good line to take through there, and as I said, you want a little lift, but then it's pretty much flat out through the rest of it.
And never touch that second curb on the inside.
Yeah, never touch it, or it's like that curb at Hungary.
Yeah.
You just touch it and you're instantly in a wall.
Oh, that's hooked up. Yeah, he's got loads of grip. He's got loads of grips here.
If he gets close enough to this house, he's going to get a tow.
Ryan, very generous, gets out of the way.
Yeah, he may have gained a little bit of time through that tow on Brian. Let's see how he takes the last chicane.
He's just so in control. He's just, he's not pushing hard. Wow, 141.5. Have that, everybody.
He improves his time by 8.5.
That's just astonishing. That's rude. I'm not. Wow, dear. And that was the sound of everybody's heart sinking.
It's. Well, I'm lost for words.
Shaw's has decided that he needs to go and hang out in the gravel for a minute.
Yeah.
Have a good think about where he's going to find that kind of pace.
I mean, all of the dust coming off that car right now is looking like the Bahrain practice, the pre-season testing.
Just seen Storm invalidated another lap. Roy's on his sector 3, but that's an invalidation as well.
In the midst of all of this, we've missed Snarf. 141.9 puts himself on the front row.
Yeah. I joined him and I thought he was cruising. So wow. Okay. Just on board with Rob, and I'd like to have a look at Thod once we see Rob cross the line, because I do think Thod's going to jump significantly higher in the grid order.
Yeah, let's see where he finished.
Rob, he's pitting. Right, great. So I've just joined Thod now in sector 2.
Yeah, let's see how he gets on. Nice. Tidy through. Maybe a little bit too much curve there, but he does keep it going. He does get a purple.
There's a purple,
Which I do believe the purple sectors are only for the people who are around you. So that'll be a purple sector compared to Cohen's.
Yeah, purple for him or...
Yeah. Let's see how he gets. Final chicane, locked up a little bit. But he kept
light on the brakes, yeah.
And
there he goes, P3.
We missed Prime.
We did think Pricey would be unanswered, but yeah, you're right. Prime, I completely overlooked him, and he's gone P1. So amazing work from Prime there. I really thought Price's time was unassailable, and two more drivers have got very, very close.
I'm not sure what happened to Pinty, as he's disqualified. Maybe that was a bit earlier on.
Yeah.
Cohen has retired as well, which I think he just thinks that he can't improve much. So
be unusual, wouldn't it?
Yeah, he's down in P16. Let's see. Everyone is on an outlap right now, apart from the Storm, who he's coming out. I think, he's coming out for a lap. Lightning's on his fast lap. Beetle's on his fast lap. Waitsy is as well, and then Thod, I think he's on an in lap.
Watching as Lightning comes to the end of his lap here. Oh, bins it on the way out under traction. So I think that might cause a yellow for some drivers.
Yeah, I think the only person who's close to it would be Thod, but I do believe, on his in lap.
Yes, that makes sense. Okay. Pricey is just into the second sector. It might be worth staying with him for his pole attempt.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on all of the other ones, all the other drivers on the left-hand side.
Great
to see if anyone noticeably improves. Pricey does get some last-minute tyre warming in.
Yeah, he's got bags of room on track as well. He's going to really like this.
Yeah.
A big wide entry to the final corner, maybe slightly too wide, but hammers the throttle.
Yeah, that wide line essentially just gives you more. Even if it's just a little bit, it can like maybe get you that extra 2 or 3 miles an hour. It's fine. Let's retire. Maybe he's happy with where he is. But Pricey is in bags of space at the moment. The only driver who's close, I believe, is Robin Wambler, and they're already halfway
Pricey
through
manages to get under his time, less than a tenth under, but under nonetheless, so a good start to the lap.
Yeah, he has to make up, I believe it's just over 1.5 tenths.
Okay, so yeah, if he's about a third of a, well, he's about 3.38 hundredths, I think it was. So more to come.
What's happened to that McLaren?
One board gets well out of the way.
Yeah. And he's getting close. That is a purple sector. But it's only 0.13 seconds. If it stays like that, it won't be enough.
So he needs it all in braking at the end of this lap. He'll know this, of course, and he's going to take the last bit of everything out of these tyres. Slightly wide on the apex. Did he carry a little bit more speed? Accelerates out. P2 for Pricey. Prime's decided that's enough. That's all he's got as well. So P2 Pricey, that's everything he had. I wonder whether going for that pole might cost him in strategy, because he was on the medium. Very nice from Snarf.
The gap between Snarf and Thod.
Yeah, it's not the first time we've seen crazy times, but that one is that's as near as you can get without getting identical, isn't it? Yeah. Fantastic.
So FedEx is coming into the pits.
Coming in as well. Yeah.
He is a lap time of 2 minutes, so I do believe he is coming in.
I think that's it. I think that's all she wrote. That's the end of qualifying for our Division 2 race, Division 1 race 3. Prime for Pricey, Snarf and Thod. A complete split of manufacturers here across the grid. We've got Storm and Shaw's driving together, but down in 9th and 10th. Apart from that, all the teammates are separated by several places, so it's going to be an interesting race when it comes to team strategy.
Yeah, I really think in terms of like the race strategy you said before it actually started, softer medium is going to be the main go-to strategy for the race, unless there is a safety car, which I'm going to say there most likely will be a safety car.
Okay.
I think even though it's a short run into turn 1, I do believe that there may be some collisions here and there between drivers. But I think going through Eau Rouge and Radion, I think maybe there's some side-to-side racing, which really isn't. It really isn't what you want. But
no.
As the drivers, but as a spectator, it's great racing.
I have to say I'm slightly surprised by Dawadek's starting position. So he'll be looking. I know he said, generally speaking, his race pace is strong on yesterday's footage, but cars getting ready to get out there and start their formation lap. I hope we manage to get a proper start this week.
Yeah, I think there will be. No one ended up leaving the session or disconnecting, so hopefully it actually lets us start on time and doesn't hold us on the grid for 5 minutes.
Oh, I have to say, I've just seen breaking news, which is incredibly sad. Murray Walker has passed away. So the voice of my youth and many people's falling in love with Formula One. Really sad to say, he's just passed away at age 97. Anyway, let's do him the honour of giving our best in commentary. Cars moving away from the grid and heating up their tyres. McLarens are pretty close together at the bottom there of the order with Wambler and Robb. Cohen, I'm surprised he's starting so low, so probably be looking to him for some places to be made up.
And then you have both of the Red Bull cars in P9 Short Span.
Will that be good for them to have teammates next to each other to help tactics into turn 1 and through, or do you think it'd be just too many things to worry about?
I think there's definitely things to worry about, as you really don't want to make contact with your teammate, and definitely going into turn 1 here, we've seen in real life the contact that can be made and how devastating it can be, but of course this is a game and the crashes aren't as spectacular, if that's the right word.
Indeed, yeah. Still sticking in my memory is the 97 crash, where 80% of the field was smashed up on the way out of turn 1.
The one that sticks in my mind was the Alonso incident.
Yeah, we had a little bit of that yesterday. No one went airborne, but due to a brake failure, we had Ben. He tried his best to avoid contact, but ended up ploughing through the midfield, and it was quite reminiscent of Grosjean, and when Grosjean's car mounted Alonso's, nearly took his head off. So, do you? I mean, this pit stop strategy is probably garbage that just flashed up on screen. But how much stock would you put in putting the hards on and having a really aggressive, hard-fought race?
I think it depends. I think it all depends on whether we have a safety car in like the first 5 or 6 laps.
Yeah.
Because I think, of course, it's the slowest compound, but it's honestly the most reliable.
I always prefer to push if I can. I'd rather be racing without needing to worry about time management, but
yeah,
obviously overall pace is definitely a consideration. So, crowd are waving robotically in the stands. Everybody's ready. Chips and mayonnaise in hand. We're ready to get going in Spa. It's lights out and go at the start. I see Pricey taking a wide line into turn 1, but it looks like Prime in the Haas has secured that first position. He heads off. We've got typical ghosting in all over the place. Todd comes up the inside of Pricey and takes both of them. So obviously the traction was a lot better for Pricey and Todd with that line through the corner. We've got Snarf having a car coming really close up behind him and the racing point behind him as well. As Todd vies for the lead into the corner. Contact, wheel-to-wheel contact. Pricey really got his elbows out there.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but he has come all the way down to 4 with Snarf jumping, and so too has a Prime. So decent getaway for Prime just touches the inside curve.
The forbidden curve.
Like you said in qualifying, you do not want to touch that curve no matter what. But Pricey's already broken DRS. Yeah. It's not even, and it's just halfway through.
I mean, that's some outstanding early pace. He must have his tyres hooked right up. I can see, was that Roy very tight up with Shaw's behind him? heading down the back straight through Stavolo.
See him move on.
He's coming up the inside of Lankavas, but he's left his braking incredibly late. Does make contact with the AlphaTauri, and Shores sneaks up the inside. It looks like Roy is left out to dry. We've got Shores is ghosting on my screen at least, and Lankavas takes a wide, comfortable line, but this is going to be really tight going up through Eau Rouge. They're side by side at the moment. A real challenge to be driving next to a ghost. He's lost it. They both lose it. Through Eau Rouge, must have taken the air off each other's wings. A really sloppy rejoin there as well from the Red Bull from Shores, or at Shores' ghost. Safety car. That must be just triggered by that impact into Eau Rouge. My grid has gone crazy, so makes no sense to me whatsoever. Let's have a look. It looks like Pricey is still at the head of the field and in control. Rafa definitely hasn't made those 10 places, it says on screen. But there is your safety car. I imagine it was that contact that we saw on screen between Roy and Shores. Storm got caught up badly, if the grid is to be believed. He's lost a huge amount of time. Nobody's stopped yet.
No, it wasn't. There wasn't any contact going through, and there wasn't any contact between Roy and...
Yeah, it looked just simply like they just took each other's air. To me.
Yeah, they both just spun at exactly the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, just, even under safety car conditions, Pricey is broken beyond us.
Yes, I'm not sure that's strictly in the in the rules, but I think that hopefully Snarf will have the opportunity to close back in. Lots of people heading in the pits. I just see Thod and FedEx Runner on my screen. I happen to be riding with FedEx Runner as he pitted, but I was just about to say that Rafa and Storm chose to pit, and Storm has put the hards on. So Storm looking for a good race here, and of course look at the amount of drivers in the pits. All the bottom half of the field have pitted. This is going to open this game right up for Storm, because he's going to get himself on hard tyres at the head of the field.
Yeah, he's going to be... he's jumped all the way up into 10th place.
P10 right now, but I think that makes him the head of the pitted drivers. Lots of people opting for the hard. Maybe they watched yesterday's race and Bacon's pace through there. I still can't even see the safety car.
It is...
Pricey has got it. Okay, excellent. And Snarf has caught him.
Oh, sorry. Sorry for that.
No problem, Crowfun.
Hear that.
But we'll call in with you in a little bit.
Yeah, I was just gonna say actually, it's crazy how the Red Bull and Ferrari, just from that contact, they managed to get on. They just had damage, but that caused the safety car. When you look at yesterday's race, was an absolute carnage into turn one. No safety car.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, something of a lottery.
Stuff. Yeah, maybe there's a curse like with George Russell getting his first point with the Williams. Maybe there's a curse for that. So
yeah.
Like that. So yeah.
We also need to mention of George Russell there. We also need to make sure that nobody makes a snafu once the safety car does manage to come in, because it is tricky when you want to hit the throttle, but you may not be on a particularly grippy section of the track when the cars head out, and then you kind of find yourself in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah. Surprised how many people are taking the harness this early on. It is a safety car, so you can take that opportunity. But when I was doing my race yesterday, the mediums at the end.
We just watched somebody go off under the safety car. I think Cohen just went off and terminal damaged. Right at the tail of the field.
I'm not sure.
Shores is involved as well. Shores is off But that Williams is definitely off, and that's not going to be competing any longer in the race. So an absolute nightmare of a race and quali for Cohen.
So just looking at the race director now,
yeah,
Shawspen has a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Cohen.
Must be it. It must be one of those situations of just getting too close to each other under the safety car conditions. We've had some warnings, especially from our steward just ahead, about leaving a gap, but the safety car remains out, so we won't be. We'll be trundling along for another incredibly long lap until the safety car goes in. But yeah, that was a violent and heavy impact for Cohen. I don't think we've got full damage on, have we?
No, I don't believe we do.
But he lost all of his. He lost one corner off the car for sure.
Yeah.
I'm reading no penalties at the moment.
Yeah, I think Shaw's has served his 5-second penalty in the pits, and I do believe Roy had a 5-second penalty as well for cutting the corner and gaining a place. So he had a 5-second penalty from that, and he served that in the pits as well. So
that's obviously very good for anyone having picked up a penalty already to serve it under a safety car pit stop. So really smart work.
Yeah, one thing is that I'm very interested to see how the safety car restart is going to go. Because obviously, like I said in the qualifying, all of Sector 3 is pretty much flat out. So, knowing Pricey, I think he will just take it nice and slow through Sector 3, go around the chicane and then just bolt. That's my prediction for the safety car restart, at least.
A lot of people calling that the Bottas at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah. But I don't think he'll go slow quite up to the line. But maybe just after the chicane he will go. But it may...
Yep. Safety car lights are out, so I will ride with Snarf. Maybe if you ride with a few cars lower down the order for us, Quinn, and we get an idea of how anybody's start compares. Bacon confirming on the chat. Good to have Bacon with us, watching along. He's confirmed on the chat that his strategy was very good yesterday. So Pricey just waiting. Have we lost our deck?
Did it, George?
Yeah, Pricey's through the chicane, and looks like you're absolutely spot on, Quinn. Pricey has gone on the exit of the final bus stop chicane section. Got himself a nice early lead. He will be within DRS if he can't bomb out of here, but he's gaining time out of turn 1, so he's clearly got the car really well hooked up. Snarf Racing number 13, car number 13, so obviously not superstitious at all. It looks like Pinty's dropped at the tail of the field as well.
And just reiterating the safety car restarts, Lightning did initially get a really good restart, but he has dropped back. And then One Blood, his restart wasn't particularly good, but he is clawing it back now. And Storm as well, he's currently 1.5 seconds behind FedEx. So those drivers particularly didn't really have a good restart, but I'm sure that all 3 of those drivers can bring it back.
Definitely. Just riding with Lankabas because he's quite close to Prime, but Prime himself is also very close to Snarf, so I can see some battles for the podium coming up very quickly. It's lap 5 after the safety car, so we've got plenty of race left to run.
So we have our first penalty through warnings, and that's going to Rob. So it's not good to be in his position at the moment with it only being lap 5 and having a 3-second penalty already. So
Lankabas lost a little bit of time against Prime ahead there, locking up into the bus stop. So let's see what Prime can do heading on through Eau Rouge. Trying to just time his toe to perfection before he can get to the DRS line.
So he does elect to use some of his DRS, but only when he gets past the DRS opening point. So
it looks like he's favouring aero rather than top speed, possibly, because certainly relative to Snarf, who just locked up, and he's certainly gaining on Snarf through the corners.
Yeah, I think it's one of the toughest circuits to actually make a setup for, because it's got a really big mixture of long straights, high speed sections, medium speed corners, and obviously low speed corners. But because of how it's placed and how those three types of corners are sequenced, it's really hard to make a setup for. The Sector 1 is pretty much just flat. Sector 3 is almost flat, and then Sector 2 is where you want your aero.
Yeah. I'm just looking down at Storm, who has been passed by both Renaults. I don't know if Storm's had some problems. VSC enacted. We're looking for that typical situation of somebody tumbling down the grid, but I'm not seeing it at the moment. Thod and Beetle both got past Storm.
It was Shaw's and Rafa, I believe.
Storm's going to the pits. Storm's heading in the pits. I wonder if he's got damage or he's decided that the hards are not working. But that's a brave move, opting out of the points position there. He's going on to the mediums now.
All of the people who were on hards have come in.
So they've just lost any advantage they had in terms of track position in doing that. That's really interesting, really unpredictable options being taken there by our midfield. And of course, wow, Snarf again locking up big time there into Bruxelles. He's clearly not got his car ready or his line sorted for that, although I guess it might be getting close to wear point on these softs. Lap 7-8. Here comes Prime, taking the inside there into Lafania.
Oh, Snarf just on the inside curve there. He just elected to put on the power a little bit, and I do believe Pinty has touched the infamous inside curve.
Well, okay. Currently Snarf is staying with Prime. Prime will be looking to get away from Snarf and head on towards Pricey, because we know the pace of these two drivers, and I'd love to see us battle between the two of them. Pricey, though, of course, has got the advantage of just being able to watch the gap now. I don't expect he will start screaming off into the distance.
Yeah, so just looking at the position changes at the moment, Rob is the biggest gainer at the moment with 9 places, being 7, and the biggest losers at the moment are Waitsy and Shawspend, but of course both of them have pitted whilst under that VSC. So
I do think, though, after what I was just saying about Pricey not wanting to get away too far, of course, I was forgetting in the moment there that many cars behind them have made pit stops that these front runners haven't, and under the safety car at that, and not everybody, there won't be that gap anymore to come out into when they pit, and they've only got a lap or two's left of use in these tyres, so it will do them well to get a move on. There's a little bit of a gap there, but I think they'd still see them coming out of the pits in 8th kind of territory, so
yeah, I'm not too sure how much time you do lose with pitting.
I like the look of FedEx runner at the moment. He's in a really strong position. He didn't opt for that second pit stop, like many of the other runners on the same initial hard strategy that he went to. So I think did Pricey pit and Prime behind him have both just pitted. Snarf did the same. So your top 3 runners have all come into the pits together. No one opting for the undercut. So we'll stay with Pricey and see where Pricey comes out. But FedEx runner has disappeared off and is your current leader with Thod behind him, and Beetle still on 8 lap-old mediums. So Beetle running the medium soft strategy, and we'll pit much later. Pricey flirting with the pit out line there. I know his wheel definitely touched the pit out line, and Pricey rejoins in 7th. Directly behind Lankowas, loses the car, and that's it. Pricey out. Pricey lost the car completely on cold mediums. 2 corners off the car, and we have lost our 2nd place qualifier, 1st place runner. Another safety car thanks to that incident on Eau Rouge. Awful luck for Pricey, but is that the combination of cold tyres and following Lankowas, or is it just the cold tyres, Quinn?
I think it has to be the cold tyres, and I think just you have to get your line perfect through Radion and Eau Rouge, and especially when you have cold mediums, they're nowhere near as grippy compared to maybe 2 lap-old softs, I mean 3 lap-old softs. They're nowhere near as grippy. So you're going to be prone to a little slide, and of course up the hill, it's so prone to slide in there, no matter what tyre you're on.
Yeah. But we know Pricey was always hits a restart or an outlap or a lap 1 or anything incredibly hard, but obviously made a misjudgment heading into Eau Rouge. I fancy had a little bit of dirty air. He was pretty close behind Lankowas, but yeah, the temperature of those mediums really caught him out, and we completely lost him in one fell swoop. Snarf pitted for the 2nd time, taking off the hards. What's going on with that strategy?
The mediums, they can go from here until the end. But
is it worth giving up that much track position at this point?
I think especially with it being a safety car and just being so close to just being bunched up.
Yeah.
The people around you, let's just see what tyres appeared. Everyone's on medium or hards. So around Snarf, you have Rafa on hards behind him, and then the next 2 people ahead of him, both of the McLarens, are on the mediums. The same compound as him.
Snarf's just given up, I think, 5 positions on track.
Yeah.
So we go for our 2nd safety car period here, after seeing none yesterday in the lower division. The racing has been really, really hard fought. We've had a couple of tight overtake battles, but unfortunately 2 major incidents going into Eau Rouge. The first one involving 2 cars who both walked away and lived to fit new wings, but have continued. And sadly, we lost Pricey there from the net lead at the time. He was just heading out of pits. So lap 10 of 22, just following the train as they try to battle to keep the tyres together, keep a reasonable but not too close distance to the car in front. The FedEx runner will take us to a restart. Everyone's had at least 1 pit stop now, so I think every one of our drivers will be looking to head to the end here and we'll have a condensed grid for the final 12 laps.
I do think the biggest gainers from this safety car has to be Lankavas and Prime. The two highest, the two top runners on the mediums. Like 4 laps of difference between mediums and hards. I'd say they'd be round about similar.
Yeah.
Like similar wear.
Yeah, I think it sounds good. Yeah.
Maybe the hards will be a little bit more worn, going 7 laps. But I think, yeah, definitely the biggest winners from this is Lankavas being in P3 on 3 lap old mediums, and Prime being in P5 with only 1 lap old mediums.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's certainly a good call. I've heard from Pricey on DM, and Pricey said he touched the inside curb, which he never does, and it completely unsettled the car. So, a really unfortunate misjudgment there. We've seen the back of Pricey. He was standing to looking like he was going to take a really big leap in the championship with regard to his delta to his teammate Shender, with Shender being missing. Wow. We just lost one blood, did we?
I think there was an incident between Pinty and one.
It is tricky, these long safety car periods on a very glitchy section of the game. But yeah, to have lost it, I think we lost Cohen, didn't we, around the first pit stop, and we've lost one blood during the second one. Wow.
Yeah, so we did lose Dawidek as well in the safety car, where he was warming up his tyres and the rear just completely stepped out when he put the throttle on.
Lights are out on the safety car, so I will ride with Lankavas and see how FedEx runner wants to take the restart. Will he do exactly the same thing as Pricey, or will he keep us guessing? Lankavas quite a long distance from Thod. He's going to need to close that distance, and he does so.
FedEx is going for a different approach, because Pricey let the safety car go way ahead and go into the pits, and FedEx is kind of keeping up with speed, just warming up his tyres. And I think he will go after going past this chicane.
Well, it gives nobody an option to follow you, but it does look like Thod has absolutely anticipated that and stayed with him. Lankavas also, so we've got a Greek 2-3 at the moment. And we're back to racing. Further down the grid there, Lightning and Prime exchanging places. Looks like an overtake from Prime, with Storm coming up the inside of Lightning. Heading into Eau Rouge. Storm gives up that position and it takes a cautious approach through Eau Rouge, but wow, gets right locked under the gearbox. So a great sequence there from Storm. Looks like Lightning taken to the centre of the track. Storm goes up the inside. Is there racing room? Just about. Lightning positioning his car just aggressively enough without pushing Storm off. So some great racing from those guys. Really, really tight racing.
Yeah, there was a battle going on ahead between FedEx and Thod going into the first chicane, and Thod was just trying to get the inside line, but he just FedEx did outbrake him. But we see Thod, as we're talking to him, get a 3-second penalty for track extending, and then in sector 2, and it's Pinty again.
Okay, so behind Lankavas, Prime is having a monster restart lap, hoping to try and catch Lankavas into the bus stop. Lankavas has slightly better top speed at this point. He's got a toe under the gearbox of Thod, who had that compromised exit. There's a difference in tyre. Lightning's gone. Just seen Lightning leave the session as Lankavas.
But that maybe connection issues on his side.
Here comes Prime down the inside. Lankovas forced to the outside, not through contact, but just car positioning. And Prime takes net third place right now. They scream up the hill through Eau Rouge, and of course Lankovas is going to have the opportunity to retaliate here, while Thod up ahead overtakes FedEx Runner before the braking zone, and Thod takes the lead from FedEx Runner. Competitive overtake and very clean. So looks like Prime managed to stay ahead of Lankovas as well. It's your new top three as we enter lap 13. Thod, FedEx Runner and Prime. Lankovas and Storm behind them. Storm's had an amazing return up the grid after 2 pit stops. Oh no! Thod loses the car exactly where we lost the car yesterday, where Lightning lost it, I think it was. Thod's in the middle of the track, a moving roadblock. Thankfully he didn't beach the car in like we saw in the race yesterday, but wow. Thod lost it on those hard tyres. Probably still not quite up to temperature after a great opening restart lap. Up ahead of them, Snarf is taking Waitsy as well.
Just on board, we went, no,
Waitsy goes round! Takes out a boarding with him, and yeah, this is just that effect.
Contact and Storm spins!
Are you kidding me?
There's contact between Lightning and Storm going into the first part of the chicane.
I think it might have been Shaw's, not Storm, because Storm's still running.
Sorry, I'm sorry,
it was another Red Bull for sure, but yeah, so Lightning and Shaw's down the field interacting with each other in a negative fashion, while Lankovas gets DRS coming up the hill, coming past Prime. Shaw's has gone as well.
Shaw's just retired on track.
I wonder if that is actually terminal damage, because it wouldn't be like Shaw's to retire on track voluntarily.
I was on board with him. He going through Radion and Eau Rouge, he retired. There wasn't any contact or anything.
Well, I'm sure we'll catch into that in the incident reports after the race over in the Discord. Lankovas staying with Prime, who in turn is staying with FedEx Runner. That's your battle at the front for the lead. Just have a look back down with Snarf, because he's aggressive. And
looking at Waitsy, he's on the soft tyre. He's the only person on track on the soft.
I guess he must have pitted after that slip up. So he's going to try and do 8 laps on the soft, which is doable once the track's rubbered in. Here comes Snarf into the bus stop, but Thod wise to it and just takes enough of a central line to repel that attack, or discourage it at least. But these guys are going to be tight heading up. I'm going to go back to the front now, because here's Prime. 2 tenths as they approach Eau Rouge. Don't be too greedy, Prime. It's so easy to lose it, but he holds it really, really well. He might be ahead before DRS here, and Lankovas comes up with the DRS wide open as well, so he's going to get the benefit of 2 toes. He's boxed in, cautiously runs behind FedEx Runner, but Prime got that done. I think Prime actually got that done before DRS. Quinn.
Yeah, I think he just got ahead of FedEx just before the DRS.
Wow.
That's just the power of, that's just how quick Prime is right now.
Yeah. Slightly unfair fight. Medium versus hard.
Yeah, definitely an unfair fight when FedEx is hard. I'd say just over half. I'd say just over half of them right, not really 50%, but I'd say about 25, maybe 30%, maybe even higher.
Meanwhile, of course, Prime now takes this opportunity to stretch his lead. Lankavas shaping around the outside of FedEx Runner. He dummied him going into the bus stop, or at least he made a great reaction lunge around the outside and held his position, just got his nose enough ahead. FedEx Runner, of course, is going to attack back, takes a very wide line into turn 1, and we'll see how this shakes out going up the hill. But Lankavas got great drive out of there.
Yeah, he's got an amazing drive out of there, and I think FedEx Runner behind him going into turn 1 was maybe predicting that Lankavas would have a wider exit as FedEx Runner takes the wide entry, trying to get that switchback move done. But
yeah, but maybe Lankavas kind of had the knew that idea was coming, right? So he took that inside line and almost boxed the options away from FedEx Runner. We're seeing an awful lot of lockups here into Brazil.
He overtakes his teammate on the inside, and he is now in P5, and now he's got to make up just over a 1.5 second gap to Storm. So
yeah, Storm on younger mediums. So if Thod will be catching Storm, that will certainly go against the grain of the tyre delta and show you that on this track on this day, Storm's lost it. Storm just lost it.
Now he's lost it.
He's taken 2 corners off the car and Storm was spun round. Storm lost it on his own, I think.
Well, Beetle, I hopped on board with Beetle and he was facing the wrong direction on track.
Oh, okay. Well, forgive me, Storm, if I've called that wrongly, but when I last saw Storm ahead of us, he was on his own.
Yeah.
But yeah, because Beetle was behind Thod. Thod had only just taken Beetle.
Yeah, so maybe it's just 2 separate incidents, or...
Yeah,
Storm was up in P4.
He was. So the shape of the race changes yet again with a VSC period. We're back to full racing speed again, but amazing. So here comes Lankavas on FedEx Runner again. They almost exchanged places, I think, at one point under VSC, heading down Kemmel, but it's all action, this race. This is. I watched the race from last night, and there were large gaps between cars for quite a large proportion of the race, shall we say. And we don't actually have anybody driving your car today, Quinn, it seems. But Lankavas is doing really well, so you'd be cheering him on.
After the aftermath of what happened in Russia, I don't think it's been repaired in time for this race.
No, certainly some damage there.
Yeah, the boys at Racing Point have decided to only do one runner for this race because it's just unsalvageable what happened to my car.
I mean, they could get a bunch of spares from Mercedes, presumably, but... But yes, your teammate is on the podium at the moment, and again we're back to that formation, driving for the 2 Greek drivers, 3rd and 4th. I may have mentioned before, but it's my favourite place on Earth is Greece, so I'm always going to have a bit of an affinity to those drivers. Further down the field, I don't know if Lankavas has quite got the top speed to challenge to challenge FedEx Runner, because he keeps getting close but no cigar to the braking zone. But further down the field I can see really close driving with Beetle and Lightning, so I'm just going to follow them coming up through Eau Rouge. Lightning's close to Rob as well. Rob's having a great showing in the McLaren right now. As I say that, of course, Lightning's screaming past him.
Rob decides not to make defending actions.
No.
I think that's very interesting, and Lightning is he's already pulled a second away from Rob, and Beetle's down the inside of Rob as well.
Fabulous. Okay, so Rob hasn't got much to fight with at the moment, or was he just compromised from that overtake? He's going to try and take the inside here, but that's definitely not a place for two cars to go together. Beetle sweeps across, maintains his racing line, and we have, that's confirmation on screen there that we've lost Storm, but looking at the state of the car, that was pretty obvious from the impact. Wow, we're down to 11 runners, Quinn.
Pretty soon all of the finishers are gonna get points.
Yeah.
If it carries on like this.
Just looking at Snarf, who's closed right up against Thod, so really enjoying these medium tyres at the moment. Of course, Thod's tyres, as I mentioned before, they are pretty old, so he's probably on a bit of a conservation trick at the moment.
Yeah, of course. Both Thod's and FedEx runners' parts are on 15 laps. So I think round about now, or maybe one or two more laps, or I'd say the next lap, they may start feeling a little bit iffy.
Yeah.
FedEx does get a 3-second penalty, which is huge for my teammate Lankavas.
Absolutely, and for Thod behind him, and potentially even Snarf in 5th. Although Thod, of course, has got a penalty himself, so I'll just check out the current penalty situation for our spectators as well. Yeah, so with FedEx runners penalty, as you say, great for Racing Point.
Yeah, really the bottom 5 drivers must the most time penalties, with Beetle being on 9 seconds, Rob, Waitsy and Roy being on 6, and then Rafa on 3 seconds, and then out of the top 6 drivers, there's only 3 people who have penalties, with Prime, Lankavas and Lightning being the only drivers who haven't amassed a penalty.
So back at the front in the podium position, Lankavas is as close as he's been for some time now. It's going to be formation flying as they head through Eau Rouge. Identical gaps, really. Thod closing heavily on Lankavas through Eau Rouge. We're going to see some action down the Kemmel Straight. Lankavas running outside, a FedEx runner locks up. Can he keep it held together? He does. FedEx fair racing, I think there, Quinn.
Yeah.
You know, nobody being pushing the envelope too far, but it's eaten into Thod's hands right now.
Yeah, I'm surprised how close the field is still at this point. Yeah. We have had 2 safety cars and 2 VSCs, I want to say.
Yeah, I think that's right. But to have, you know, 2nd, 3rd and 4th and 5th here so close together, it's lap 20 of 22, so as usual, time flying past. I really feel like I'd prefer to be commentating on 75% races. That's about, I think, a nice sweet spot where you can get a breather, but without it being too arduous or too long on 100%. But that being said, again, these gaps are so tight at the front here. 4 tenths, 5 tenths, 5 tenths. Fabulous driving.
Oh, FedEx.
Lankavas takes a wide line. Thod is forced to as well, just because of Lankavas's line, I think, there.
Yeah. So Lankavas is very, very close to FedEx, and I think, yeah, he's going to have this overtake. He hasn't even used his overtake.
So Lankavas gets it done. You know, great move, great timing, and good traction out of 1, and has a great drive up there. He's going to want to get a move on though, because we know the pace of Thod behind FedEx Runner. So as soon as Thod can get past him, he'll certainly be aggressive on track. Whether it will shake out and he'll stay on the podium is another matter, but we know the drivers like to continue challenging for positions on track, regardless of penalties anyway. He takes the outside, a defence from FedEx Runner, a little bit of contact from the outside there. That's going to completely buy in for Snarf, who sneakily goes around Thod. So he's the next one to challenge FedEx Runner. I mean, maybe a little bit greedy from Thod in a difficult place on the track to pass.
Yeah, I think, sector 2, I'm not sure what happened. I think that's Roy.
Just looking at Snarf as FedEx Runner takes the defence on the outside of the bus stop. But, yeah, so no change of position there. Yesterday we saw some people backing up as they entered one just to get the DRS, but no such driving here. Look at how close our 3rd, 4th and 5th drivers are right now. Less than half a second between all 3 of them as they enter Eau Rouge. Let's join Thod on board and see who's got what to fight with here. Snarf goes out on the outside. FedEx. Thod and FedEx getting each other's way as Snarf decides, well, if you guys are going to play like that, I'm going to disappear out of here because I've now got myself on the podium.
Wow. So I think as it stands, Snarf will get P3 just because it cancels out with FedEx.
Yeah.
And FedEx will get P4 because Thod has a 6-second penalty and both FedEx and Snarf only have 3 seconds.
Absolutely. Let's just spend a moment talking about Prime as he comes round to tackle his final breaking point of the lap. Prime's had a great race here, Quinn.
Yeah, definitely. He's just... I was really looking forward to the battle between himself and Pricey, and of course Pricey had that accident.
Out of the bus stop on the final lap for Prime. Prime will be our race 3 winner in Spa. A fantastic drive with a great gap. Didn't nab fastest lap at the end there. Lankabas comes in 2nd. Snarf takes 3rd. FedEx Runner hops up to 4th thanks to the penalty of Thod, who's already crossed the line ahead of him. Further down, Lightning gets 6th from Beetle. Closely finished together there. Rob crosses the line in 8th for McLaren. Rafa, with the fastest lap, gets P9 in the Mercedes. So a good day for Mercedes, if not in real life in testing. And Waitsy takes our final point after an eventful race for him. We'll watch Roy cross the line with 9 seconds of penalties, but what a race, Quinn, what a race.
Yeah, it's definitely such, very eventful race. A very eventful race. Like I said before, there's 2 safety cars and 2 virtual safety cars, and I'm not sure what's going on with Roy. It doesn't say he's finished. Oh, there we go.
Fantastic. Okay, so that's the end of our on-track action. But stay with us on the chat. We're going to check in with Carrera Fan, one of our Division 2 drivers, shortly. Carrera, you're already in the room with us, so we want to see Carrera Fan's analysis, and then we'll see if we can't get in touch with some people for an interview at the end. Embarrassing dance on the podium for Prime as he lifts the trophy for Haas. First place for Haas. Lankabas takes a great 2nd place. And I don't know what they put in the water in Finland, but it produces amazing drivers comparative to their population. And there's Snarf, who I hope is referencing Thundercats, coming in 3rd. Quinn, take us through the finishing results for us.
So in P1, we have Prime, which it was a very good race from him. Something that didn't really pick on in the race was he had very good ERS management, and it just kept his pace up so high. And then we have Lankavas in P2 coming up from P6 on the grid. We have Snarf in P3 finishing where he qualified. We have FedEx and the Thod in P4 and 5 switching places from quali. We have Lightning in P6 who qualified 13th. We have Beetle in 7th. We have Rob in 8th. We have Rafa in 9th, who did pick up the fastest lap, so that is nice little points all
4
for
pit
him.
stops for Rafa.
Yeah, four pit stops, finishes 9th and gets the fastest lap. Can't really complain. Then we have Waitsy rounding out the points in P10. And then we have Roy being the last classified finisher, and then all of the DNS. We have Storm, Shores, Pinty. We have
We're gone. We're going to have to check out the
a little bit.
Check out the stream to get the
Took
final results.
Bit too long on that.
No problem. But yeah, as I mentioned, we're hoping to speak with Carrera Fan. Are you there for us?
Yeah, I am. I've been watching the whole race stuff.
Fantastic. So, what did you spot? What did you make of it?
That
Yeah. Dawidek, yeah. And I know Cohen went off. I didn't see exactly what happened, but he definitely went off, just after the safety car or during it. Yeah. We saw several incidents there, but also in Radion, we saw. I think Storm went off on Puon. It's just everywhere on the track, apart from perhaps turn 1. Did you see anything in turn 1 that we missed on screen? I saw a lot of ghosting going on. Yeah. It was a cracking, absolute cracking race. I'm not looking forward to trying to make highlights out of that. I definitely think so. Well, I'm pleased to say we've got some drivers joined us in the party already. I'm working on trying to get your race winner onto the live chat, but we're hoping to get there. But first to join us on the chat is Shorspen. Shores, are you with us? Are you able to share your audio? It'd be great to speak to you. Hey, Shores. That was an eventful race. Not a really good result for Red Bull at all. Take us through your early laps. How did that work out? Yeah. Yep. Several of them, weren't there?
Just looking away, was talking to somebody, and after that the whole field was almost standing still. And yeah, I was already on the back of him. And then I had another collision. The Mercedes spun in front of me, and he took me with him, and after that I just retired.
Yeah. Did you manage to get to the pits before retiring on us? We weren't quite sure.
No, I was just done with it. I didn't make it.
So a full-on rage quit from Shaw's, I guess. Did we? Quinn, have you got any thoughts about Shaw's race?
I just want to ask about the qualifying, because I know that you're typically quite a fast driver, so was it a plan for you to qualify where you did, or was it just
No, absolutely.
not really a good?
No, my
Not
bank
really,
was
yeah.
was actually quite good. Got pole with that for a few minutes, but then my second run I was 4 tenths under my time, but then I spun. And the last run I also run wide, so I lifted a lot, so I didn't get an invalidated lap time. But then I went wide to try and gain my time back, and then I had an invalidated, so it was not a great qualifying.
Yeah, I'm just thinking for the race, qualifying in that sort of P7, P8, P9, P10 in that range, I think it's quite. Yeah.
But I got P10, so.
Yeah.
Okay, and we didn't get to see your full pace through the race. What were you kind of hoping to achieve? Where did you think you had the pace given your starting position?
I think my aim was just to get as close to the podium as I could. I would be really happy to get a podium, but yeah, it was not my best race. Really bad, actually.
But a home race for you and Storm to come next week. Are you looking forward to Zandvoort?
Yeah, I like the track. It's not that difficult with track limits, actually.
Yep.
So we'll see.
Good. Because yeah, it's not one of my favourites, but I'm sure for Dutch drivers, it's got a very special place in the heart. We will look forward to seeing what you can do on Saturday, and whether we have any events in between. But yeah, hard luck today. But yeah, hopefully we'll hope for a better result next week.
Yeah.
Thanks for talking to us, Shores.
Mm.
Thanks a lot. Maybe we could go to Storm. Storm, are you with us?
Yes, I am indeed.
Fabulous. Well, good to see you. We were just talking to your teammate, and big thanks to Bacon on the chat. He's figured out why we've been going, why I've been going wrong so much with these interviews. It's because I'm not sharing the game screen. So trying to get party audio works fine if you're in the game screen, but the problem was I kept going back to the party to try and get people in. So it looks like we've sorted that one.
Okay, great.
So yeah, maybe my co-commentator can add people to the chat, or let me know who's coming next, because it's a bit difficult to do everything at once. Storm, we saw you just in the background lose it into Radion, was it? What happened?
In the race, you mean in lap 16?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in sector 2, coming out of sector 2 into sector 3. I went a little bit wide on the curb, got oversteer too early on the throttle, and I just completely lost it into the barrier, and my wheel just fell off.
Yeah.
And my race was gone.
You were in a really strong position, but you really confused us by pitting a second time to put the mediums on.
Yeah, the VSC, the virtual safety car, came out just before the pit entry, and I had to make a decision in like one second. So I just decided to go for the mediums, because I know the mediums would make it to the end.
Yeah.
From it was around lap 7. So I make a cheap pit stop under VSC and maybe gain positions like that. But the full safety car came after that, I think.
Yeah.
So that
one
was
of them.
A bit of a shame. Yeah, one of the many.
This was our Division 1 race, and it wasn't necessarily a better showing for
Division 2 went. Division 2 was a lot more clean.
It was a cracking race. We really enjoyed it. Quinn's with me and is thinking up questions while I flounder around. Quinn, anything you spotted from Storm's race?
I haven't. Sorry, I'm still thinking. I was going to ask about like you had quite a few battles on track with many drivers. Just like, what goes through your mind when you're going through battles? Like, obviously you want to have the best line, but when you have someone who's just battling you, say at the end of the Kemmel Straight or going through the bus stop chicane, what really goes through your mind when you're going into a braking zone?
Yeah, it's just a bit of a mind game if I should really fight a battle or not. Because one time I had a battle with Beetle, it was, I think, and I just don't want to waste all my ERS on one lap, so I just decided to let him go. But on one lap later, I just know that I had so much more speed than him, so I wanted to pass him, and I used a lot more ERS. And that worked out because I lost Beetle. But a few laps after I spun.
Will you be reporting any incidents for us, Storm? Did you see anything or catch any trouble into turn 1 or anything?
No, not really. I had a bit of a clean race, yeah. It was like in lap 1 or 2 at the bus stop chicane, a Ferrari spun ahead of me and I got wing damage. Yeah, that was in the first lap. So I had to I went for the hards in lap 2.
Yes.
But there was nothing they could do. So it was just
happy.
A racing incident.
Yeah. Didn't enjoy those hards, or at least thought, well, I can get a cheaper safety car, a cheaper pit stop to get your preferred tyre on.
Yeah.
Were you hoping for the podium or kind of P4?
Like when the safety car came, I was in P6 with a few hard runners in front of me. So I saw an opportunity for the podium. I didn't have a single warning, but I was going to push, and I pushed a little bit too hard. I got 2 warnings in 1 lap, picked up a penalty,
yeah,
and then I spun and my race was over. So I pushed it a bit over the limit.
Yeah, yeah. I would say it seems when I've seen you on track battling, it seems like you approach the battles pretty cautiously. Is that a conscious decision to stay out of trouble in the early part of the season?
Yeah, it's just like I prefer to lose a position or a second or two than get wing damage and lose 30 seconds on a pit stop.
Yeah.
So that's why I take it like every battle very cautious, leave enough room for the driver who I'm battling with.
So obviously plenty experience racing online. Let someone go and have an accident in front of you and not be part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
basically.
good to chat with you. I know we want to check in with Dawadek shortly. Any closing thoughts from you, Storm?
No, that was it.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, look forward to seeing you and Shaw's performing and getting a better result in Sanford.
Hopefully, our home Grand Prix.
Speak to you soon. Thanks, Storm.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Dawadek, are you with us? Hey.
Yep. Hey.
How was that for you? I mean, I haven't been able to watch your video online yet, but a problem on the safety car?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I just want to say I had a problem in qualifying, first of all. So, you know how I was setting up the lobby, yeah?
Yep.
I accidentally turned on traction control in full. And it took me 3 laps to notice that it was on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But then the race, I mean, like, the video kind of just says, oh, that just sums it up. Like, I barely even touched the wall, and it says my wheel fell off. So, yeah, I don't know what the fuck Codemaster's playing at, but...
Apologies for any sensitive people listening. We'll make allowances for the fact that Dawadek's calling in from Scotland, and they do use different levels of language up there. What about you, Quinn? Have you any thoughts on Dawadek's race?
I just think, like, just going through on when you're going through the first lap, the first few corners of your laps, what are your thoughts? Are you already like planning ahead for maybe the next couple laps, or are you just like in the moment just racing on like instincts and just like your reactions?
For this race, personally, I decided to take a more calm approach throughout the first laps because I was starting on the medium, so if I had to pit early on, that would ruin my strategy. So yeah, I just tried to play as cautious as possible, and I did end up like P5, I think, before that incident. So yeah, it was going pretty well till it wasn't.
Yeah. So, what did you pit for on the first round of stops?
I didn't pit.
Oh, you didn't get there.
I just stayed out on the mediums for the first safety car, and then that's when it ended for me.
Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Hard lines on the race today. Must be really annoying. Did you see any incidents at the start?
I mean,
how did the start look for you?
Lap 1 seemed a bit crazy, not gonna lie, because I had a really good view of everyone, you know, because I started like P14, so yeah, I seen a lot of front wing pieces flying about and stuff, but yeah.
Okay. We did see a lot of people come in the pits on that first safety car, so I guess they were all nursing damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was a absolutely action-packed race. I think the highlights are probably going to run to 40-45 minutes by the look of things, because that was crazy. Pretty much something happening every single lap. So well worth a rewatch if you get a chance.
Yeah, will do.
How are you feeling about the next race?
Very confident, not gonna lie. Zandvoort's probably one of my best tracks.
Sweet.
So yeah, I need to make up some points after today.
Yeah. Did you catch how your teammate did today?
I think he came 4th after penalties. So
FedEx runner, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to try and talk with him shortly.
I think he's in the party, yeah.
Sweet, excellent. Okay, well, hopefully then good for the team result. And no one team's walking away with it after we saw. I don't know if you caught, but Pricey
Yeah, Pricey DNF
Pricey
as
lost
well.
the car, yeah. And we had that was one of only of 2 incidents into Eau Rouge, but yeah, Pricey lost it, and of course Schender wasn't driving either, so the Ferrari team heading home with nothing tonight as well.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, well, good to talk to you, Dawidek, and yeah,
You too.
hope for better luck next time. Cheers, man.
Cheers. All right, see yous.
See you later. Good stuff. Well, Quinn, if you wanna ask the first question to FedEx Runner, if he joins in, feel free.
FedEx, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can.
So
Okay.
obviously you had such the battling you had between Thod and Lankavas was just so interesting to watch, and obviously just knowing the penalties that everyone had, what were you thinking whilst you were battling those two?
Well, I knew I should use Lankovas as a buffer to I thought, because I thought was really quick on the hards. I don't know how we managed that, but on the hards I was running 4.6 wings, and Pricey told me he was running 2.6 and probably a couple of cars even lower. So I knew I just had to stay ahead as long as possible.
Yeah.
Then when the first time I thought attacked me, I think I managed to fend him off, but I was a bit frustrated because I didn't know why he attacked me, even though he had more penalties. Like on the last lap, I think we made a bit of contact, or once on the Camel straight he tried to go on the grass to pass me. And
It was really tricky, wasn't it? Because at that moment
Also-
you were defending to the middle of the track, favouring the right hand side, and you weren't. I guess your eyes were on Lankavas as well.
Yes, but I didn't think there was space. Like, did you
No.
catch that on the...
I didn't think there was space
Replay?
either. I guess he kind of made some space, but he did manage to keep 2 wheels on the tarmac. But yeah, it was.
He did an Alban in 2019, I told him as well.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but-
a great result for you all the same. You must be
was-
pleased with that.
I was frustrated because in total I had 3 warnings, and one of them I got under the second virtual safety car.
Yeah.
So if I hadn't got that, I would have gotten P3, because I think the Mercedes was in P3 then.
Yeah. When we talk to drivers after the race, there is generally speaking only ever one happy driver, so I should stop asking whether people are happy. But yeah,
Well, I am quite happy because I did make up a position. Quali
You did?
wasn't too great. Yeah, I started 5th and finished 4th. But Pricey, of course, DNF'd, so more or less I stayed the same. I don't know. I think Prime, Vilzu and Lankovas, I don't know when they pit, but I think... Did they pit under the VSC at lap 7 or something like that?
they, I believe they were on the different strategy to you.
I pit on the first safety car, and I went for the hards, but they, I think, pit lap 7, which is more or less the ideal time to go to the mediums.
Yeah. How were those hards
So-
feeling at the end for you? It looked like you were struggling a little bit to fight with the mediums.
Well, like the last 5 laps, I was always setting more or less new personal bests, like only a couple hundredth of a second off.
Yeah.
But I mean, just a straight line speed and me just running higher wings was
Right.
not really the move.
Yeah. Still, we saw you jump up the field under the other pit stops, it's from the way we were looking at it, you chose the same strategy as Storm, but you made your strategy work, whereas Storm bailed on it after a couple of laps. He decided he wasn't happy with the hards at all.
Yeah, well, I think it was also because he was 2 places behind me.
Yeah.
And also once I think I got past him, or no, actually I thought was ahead of me heading into the pit, but he got held for like 10 seconds, so really unlucky for him. And then Storm jumped him, so I think on the restart I got like a 2-second gap to Storm, which was pretty good. And then now in hindsight I understand why Storm didn't like the hards. And then I think 3 laps after the restart where I thought overtook me, he straight away spun
He did, yeah.
F1.
We were, yeah.
So...
It was just lap after lap. Someone was making a mistake, and
like every
took
lap
too
there
much
was
out of
flags.
took too much out of a curb or something. It was such a thrilling race. Really, really interesting. Is it any less roller coaster of an emotions from the last race for you, or is it just a sort of slower boil to a fairly frustrated finish?
Because I was higher up, it was a bit. I was a bit more nervous when I was battling.
Yeah.
Or like a bit more cautious. I don't know.
And what kind of assists were you running today?
Happy. What?
What kind of assists were you running today?
None. I don't run any assists.
Oh, very good.
Except for Russia, I run the line because there's no real breaking points.
Yeah, I have to say, I feel like I'm really slow compared to everybody else when I look at their times on time trial and stuff. But I don't race with any assists either, and I'm always disappointed when I get an onboard video and I'm looking at somebody's racing line and things.
Yeah, because at Brazil I also didn't use a line, but Russia's the only track I need the line. But like traction control, I also didn't use in the rain and stuff, because that's just. But I mean, I was half a second off my time trial time, so that was pretty disappointing.
Well, if you're gonna, obviously time trial setup is very different to racing setup, so. I wouldn't beat yourself up too much. It sounds like you did.
I nearly used the same, if not the same.
Wow, really?
Well, I mostly prioritize qualifying, especially like now at Zandvoort. I'll prioritize even more for qualifying than for the race, because track position is everything there. And yeah, I don't feel confident running low downforce, so.
Yeah. No, I can definitely relate. Quinn, have you got any questions?
I was just going to ask, because you mentioned about Zandvoort, how confident are you with going to Zandvoort? And obviously it's such a hard track to overtake, so you've already mentioned that you want to qualify as high as you can.
Yeah, so I think I'll put even more practice in practice into time trial than GP mode. And I think the strategy for most will be soft to hard, especially for the front runners. When we fully push, I hope I'm gonna be there, but who knows. And yeah, I mean, there's not much I can do, just hope for the best. And hopefully pick a better setup. I think the setup I had in Brazil was brilliant. The setup I had in Russia was actually pretty good. And I think feeling-wise, the setup here at Belgium was the worst so far.
Okay.
So yeah, I hope to have a better setup again at Zandvoort.
Okay, so of course, well, I've got one more question. Of course, Zandvoort is a track that, well, most of the corners, there aren't really any heavy braking zones apart from the first corner, and it just flows really nicely together. So, do you think it's one of the best tracks in terms of that aspect, where it's just flows from one corner to the next?
Well, I definitely like it because it's just a really nice circuit to drive, but ERS is gonna be crucial, especially in the end if you wanna make one or the other overtake, that you still have a decent amount of ERS. And I did a Zandvoort race in one of my career modes, and when I was on mediums and minimum tire pressure, the front left was on 108 degrees, so I'm a bit tentative, and I want to see how that goes in GP mode. And yeah, that surely will be a factor. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Fantastic. No, great to talk to you as always, FedEx runner. Great driving, and it was really entertaining watching you. Certainly, I know you did a lot of defending when we caught you on screen, but good result, and great to talk to you as usual. Hope to check in again with you next week.
Yep.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Well, Quinn, is there anybody else waiting, or should we call it a day?
Don't think there is anyone else who has joined parties.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was a absolutely amazing race. Really enjoyed it, and sad that you couldn't race with us, but good that you were in the co-commentary seat today. How about you? You feeling like you could have got a good result there, or glad to be out of that chaos?
I think I'm definitely glad to be out of that. I wouldn't have fared well with Belgium. It's not really a good. It's not really a good circuit for myself, and I feel like I would have just DNF'd in that chaos. So I'm happy that I'm sort of happy that I didn't get to race.
Okay.
But Zandvoort, the next race, it's a good race. It's a good track for me, of course. ERS, like FedEx said, it's really hard to recover it around this circuit because it just flows. Like all of the corners just flow into each other, and it's very hard to. Of course, you need to be braking to recover your ERS. So there aren't many heavy braking zones, so it's really hard in that respect. And of course, the only places you're going to be able to overtake is down the main straight and into turn 1.
Yeah. So, how are you feeling about strategy? Is it too early to say? We need to do some practice runs, or do you think you're locked in?
For me personally, it's too early to say because I still need to get like the qualifying practice in, like the race pace in, and I just think it's maybe a bit too early to say for me.
Sure.
But
will you be tuning in or catch up watching the Division 2 for research as well?
I think I'm definitely gonna keep my eye on the Division 2 race and just like seeing like the different. Maybe there's like different strategies where someone maybe goes for a 2-stop and ends up finishing high up the grid.
Right. Yeah. Let me just check in on the chat. I'll just talk my way through this and just check in no one else is hanging out or waiting. But yeah, a really enjoyable time we've had there. I know Carrera's still with us. Carrera, any final thoughts before we say goodbye to the stream? Just give me a second to get back on the game screen, and I'll shoot to you in just a second. Looks like Pricey has gone straight into another race or a league. I think Prime was perhaps on his way as well. So sadly we're not going to be able to speak to those guys today. But Carrera, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, just roughly, it was quite an enjoyable race to watch. I think definitely more enjoyable than Divisions 2 race after that first major incident. There wasn't many battles on track. It was very chaotic, obviously, this one, but still, fun to watch to the end. The last position on the podium. Good fight, and it was just fun to watch. So
it was a great race, and I am sitting here with a bit of a heavy heart with the news about Murray Walker. For those people who ever listen to an F1 race in English commentary, I'm sure they'll all agree he was the standard by which all commentary is always measured. So really sad. I guess inevitable at 97, but still, sad day.
Yeah. Still. He's lived an enjoyable life as well. He's lived his passion. 97
Absolutely.
is still a very good age,
Nobody was more passionate in a more genuine way than that guy. And as you say, his library of work lives on. So it was great to have both of you with me tonight on the stream. Great to have everyone watching with us. I know there's still 4 people watching along. So thank you for your loyalty. Thank you for watching right to the end with us, and we will look forward to next Friday and Saturday, potentially looking still for drivers to fill up our Division 3 seats. So find out how to contact us or contact us directly on the channel if you can't find us on the Discord to get yourself into Division 3. But a great race, and we will catch everybody on the next race day.
Yeah, thank you